Hey folks, we had a little screw up at the end of the broadcast when we announced the actual qualifying results. So here's the edited version with the correct results. Sit back and enjoy. Hello, race fans, and welcome once again to the Apex This iRacing League. We're here at the Le Mans here with the GTE GT3 cars, round number 10. And the guys, they're just wrapping up qualifying here. A little cool out there tonight. Air temperature is 64 degrees. Winds around 4 miles an hour. Track temperature is only 69. The track's pretty hot. Yeah, the cars will get slick. But when it's a little cool, then it's a question of can you get enough heat in the tires? And so far we haven't seen too many problems, but we'll see how things work as the evening progresses here. And we have just a little bit of time left before qualifying is done, about 5 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick look at the points as they stand right now. Looking at the GT3 cars, we got Jaron Haslam. He's leading Shane Hunter, Jordan Johnson, Christopher Perez, John Miller, Lincoln Russell, Kent Kruger, Stacy Dunnigan, Andrew Rasmussen, and Adam Baltutis round out your top 10. In the GTE division, Corey Mitchell, he's clinging to that lead. Still a little ways in head front of Jeff Carollo, followed by Bjorn Benches, David Duino, Doug Doucette, Tommy Reagan, Ismail Sierra, Dustin Burkhalter, A.D. Vila, and Troy Banks round out your top 10 in the GTE class. Running along here with Randy Mathis, currently showing fourth in his class. Right behind him, we've got the looks like the number 12 of Corey Mitchell. Looks like right now he's sitting atop the standings in his class. There's Dustin Burkhalter. Looks like we're at it's a 2-hour qualifying session. We're at 1 hour and 56 minutes. So yeah, we're got about just under we're just turning 1:57, so we got about 3 minutes to go in qualifying here. There's Bjorn Benches. He's parked there for some reason. Maybe he's getting ready to go back to the pits. There's Jaron Haslam. He's overall at first overall in his class at the moment. There's Shane Hunter, currently running third in his class. There's Edwin Martinez, ninth in class at the moment. There's Andres Garcia. Oh, some of these chicanes are a little tricky, and we've seen some guys go off a little bit every now and then, not a whole lot, but every now and then somebody might go in there, and you got to really push it to the limits to see just what you can get away with, what the car will let you get away with there as you approach these turns. There's Eric Elkins, right, currently third in this class. Got about 21 cars, looks like it, in the server tonight. That's a good field, and hopefully everyone's able to start. We had some technical difficulties last night, We were covering the Corvettes, the C7DP cars, and we had some issues going on the broadcast side, with the server, and but we did manage to save the replay, so we're going to get that together for you later on in the week, and you will be able to view that race in its entirety. There's Randy Mathis, it's fourth fastest, trying to beat that 353.936. And I tell you, this is such a long track. I mean, it is like it's as you can see, it takes almost 4 minutes just to get around this course. The only other track I can think of that actually even takes longer than this would be like the old Nürburgring, and I want to say that's something more in the order of 7 minutes. But you got a lot of opportunities to pass or get past on a track this size. It looks like we're about to wrap up qualifying here. There's a little bit of an overlap, as the time expires, and once they reach the 2 hour mark, then there's a little bit of a countdown before the server actually rolls over to the race session. Looks like a lot of guys are starting to come in now. It just looks like he's going to come into pit road. One sign for sure, qualifying is getting ready to wrap up here. And I think it's rolling over right now. So we're going to go ahead and wait for the server to come up here. Checkered flags are out. Looks like I can see like one car on track, and actually now there's two. Not sure who that's. That's Andres Garcia around the backside of the course there. I think it's about a 2 minute timer, so we just hit 2 minutes there past the 2 hour qualifying time. I'm thinking maybe this server is just about to roll over here. I'll tell you, this is a large circuit here as well, 8.42 miles in length, and pretty low to the ground there, 107 feet above sea level. And I tell you, this will be an interesting race tonight. A pretty decent field here. I'm thinking we're going to see a lot of action here tonight. They have that 19 incident limit to a disqualification. Damage is on. Of course, they run open setups, and as always, they know they usually do timed events in this series in this league, and this one's 40 minutes. The Corvettes last night were they usually run 30, but we're doing 40 tonight, and I believe we'll also be doing 40 on Sunday as well. I'm still waiting on that server to get going. That thing's really the last couple of races that I've been at, that thing really runs past the limit. Now we're 3 minutes into the end of the session, and we may actually back up our broadcast a little bit if this continues, because it's strange that it takes so long to roll over to the qualifying server. I mean, to the race server. You would think it would be done by now, unless there's still some guys on track that we don't know. That's the only car that I see on track, and even looking on the track map, it's not even showing him on track. So yeah, that's interesting. And we are live, and he's still rolling around. We're now at 2 hours and 4 minutes. Actually, 4 minutes past the end of qualifying. Garcia having a little off there. Let's see if he's put down a time at all. No, see, the time has expired, so he's probably he's getting some free seat time in here just to get used to the car or the track and the setup. But he won't be able to put down any kind of time because the official qualifying session has ended. And I don't know if they're having some kind of problems with the servers. No, we have seen some guys blinking in and out as well when we were at last night's race. And of course, we were having our own problems here in the broadcast booth. But everything, it seems like it's running fine, but it's just really running over. And there's nobody else on track except for Garcia. So he's got the spotlight for now. Unfortunately, it won't be able to put up any lap times unless this is considered an out lap, which I don't believe it is. And there we go. Looks like I think we're getting ready to roll over to the race server here. Okay. Waiting for the cars now. They're going to line up for the start here. Of course, we have the two divisions, the GTE and the GT3 class, and they should have their own pace cars. They will start them off separately. Have a little bit of a gap there in case there's a little bit of a calamity. Not everyone will just pile up together. Let's see if we can pull up this starting grid here for you. On the pole, we have Corey Mitchell. Tommy Regan is second. Eric Elkins third. Randy Mathis fourth. Troy Banks fifth. Bjorn Benches starting in sixth position. In seventh position, we have Steven Martinez. Dustin Burkhalter eighth. Ninth position, we have Edwin Martinez. Darian Roy rounds out the top 10. Michael McCoy starting 11th. Jaron Haslam is 12th. In the 13th position, we have Lincoln Russell. In 14th position, Shane Hunter. Kent Kruger starting 15th. Aiden Meek is 16th. In 17th position, we have Christopher Perez. 18th position, we have Andres Garcia. Joe Hansen Gates starting 19th. John Stapp is starting 20th. Rounding out the field in 21st position is Mark Bray. Pace cars bringing the field around. There's your leader, pole sitter, Corey Mitchell. As we make our way around to the start of the track. These are the GTE cars in front. We do have a couple. Michael McCoy and Steven Martinez are all the way at the back of the field. Not sure if they missed the start or not, but they're showing down there at the bottom. You see the timing and scoring tower there. The pace car is going in. We should be going green momentarily.
Green flag.
And we've got green lights. And Mitchell leads them to the start of a 40-lap event here at Le Mans. Regan, Regan had a little bit of a spin. We had several cars have a little off back there. Eric Elkins now in second position. He's followed by Bjorn Benches. He was followed by Troy Banks. Looks like we had Martinez, Dustin Burkhalter. We had several guys spin. Let's look back here at the GT3 cars. There's Jared Haslam. He leads the GT3 machines. He's got a pretty good break there on Lincoln Russell. Shane Hunter is currently running third in the GT3 class. They're all drafting each other or trying to get close enough to get a draft. I mean, that's a really long straight, and it really, if you're close enough, you can really get some good drafting there. A little further back, there's Christopher Perez, currently running. He's running 5th in class, 13th overall. Over a second and a half clear of Andres Garcia. Right along here with Kent Kruger. Now he managed to get. Looked like he's quite separated from the rest of the field. It might. I don't know if he got slowed down by those cars that were spinning at the beginning. And because if stuff's happening in the front, you know, like we said, that's why they space them out. Let's take a look back up at the front here. Corey Mitchell continues to lead. He opened up over a 3-second lead now to Eric Elkins. Elkins trying to keep pace, and he's got Troy Banks behind him. He looks like he got a little squirrely there. He was just about 2 seconds ahead of Banks. Any little bobbles like that will definitely allow a car to catch up. You see Banks now less than a second and a half, almost to within a second now. Drag race down one of the many long straights they have. Further back, here's Bjorn Benches. He's running 6th in class and 6th position overall. That Apex this machine. That somebody's missing a bumper there. That looks like that's Dustin Burkhalter. He was one of the guys that was involved in that spin. Wow, and he is just missing all the front of that car. And Reagan is looking to go on the attack now, if he can. You would think that would mess with his aerodynamics. That will be interesting to see. I tell you, if you take a pit stop around here to fix your car, I mean, you might as well forget it. The lap is so incredibly long. You'll be hard-pressed to catch somebody. And plus, they have these long straights where they can just really get away from you so quickly while you're sitting in the pits. Burkhalter. And that was Troy Banks. Now Troy Banks is he's showing him running 6th now. Trying to drag race now, trying to catch on to Bjorn Benches. Trying to do a slingshot here. Looks like he just might make the pass here. Lock the brakes down. Banks moves into the 5th position. And that's 5th in class and 5th overall. Back here with the GT3 cars, Jaron Haslam continues to lead. He's got over 3-second gap now to Shane Hunter. Shane Hunter, he's pretty comfortable in 2nd position in class. He's over 4 seconds ahead of Lincoln Russell. Looks like Darian Roy might have went off track here. Let's see. Oh, and he got a little sideways, and oh, he hit the wall there a bit. Now we're live again. Having a little problem through those S's. Currently running 8th in class, but 17th overall. One of the GTE cars. And we're riding along with John Stapp. Now he's chasing Andres Garcia there. And being chased by Kent Kruger. Oh, and looks like Garcia had a problem. He went a little wide there. That allowed Stapp to get right in front, to take that 6th position in class and the 13th position overall. Now Garcia, he's going to come under attack from Kent Kruger. And I think maybe Garcia just, he went a little wide there. Kruger manages to get past. John Stapp, though, he was able to get quite a bit of a gap there when the two of them were kind of trying to keep from running into each other, going through that those little S's back there. Track does seem a little slick, because it is, the track temperature is barely into the 70s, I believe. As it stands right now, it's track temperature is only up to 80 degrees. The air temperature is still rather cool, only 66. We're now on lap 3, 8 minutes into this 40-minute event. The overall leader, Corey Mitchell, he's checking out. He's over 5 seconds ahead of Eric Elkins. Elkins, he's also, like we've seen a few other drivers, comfortably in 2nd position. No threat from Tommy Reagan from behind there. Reagan does have Burkhalter a little closer. In fact, Burkhalter, he's just about to get less than a second. He's right at about 1 second. Even with that damage on the, no front nose on that car. No front grille or anything. And he's trying to hang in there with Reagan. And that last section, though, Reagan, he was able to open that gap up. He now over 2 seconds. These long straights, I think in the long run, it's going to hurt Burkhalter. He may not have any choice. I guess he figured might as well just stay out, because he might eventually get past. But, you know, it may or may not. Martinez now just did break below the 5-second gap, but he's not really gaining on him all that fast. There's Edwin Martinez, and he's got Troy Banks and Bjorn Benches behind him. There's Banks and there's Bjorn Benches. Behind them is Jaron Haslam. He's the first of the GT3 machines. He's followed by Shane Hunter in second. Trying to chase Haslam down. Oh, and Shane, his car kind of blinked out there a little bit. Sometimes when they have connection issues, the car blinks a little bit. And the thing about it, sometimes when you're in the car that's having the connection issue, you may not even notice that you're blinking. And sometimes from your perspective, you may see the rest of the cars in the field blink out. And you'll, you know, at first, it may look like, well, everybody else is having a problem, but what that really means is when you're seeing everybody else blink out, you're the one actually blinking out. And usually guys will let you know, and because that can be a very nervous thing for a driver to be behind you and not know your physical position on the track. There's Perez, got some damage on the hood there. Trying to stay ahead of Kent Kruger. Kruger trying to catch him. He's still maintaining about a 1.5 second gap to Kent Kruger. Bear with me 1 second. We're gonna reset this thing because the track map decided to go away on me here. There we go. Kruger continues to chase Perez. This is for 12th and 13th overall, and also battle for class position 5th and 6th. Now we're getting reports Andres Garcia just crashed. Let's see what happened here. Oh, he got a little wobbly there going through those S's. It just didn't look like he had any kind of grip at all. Take it back live here. He's currently running 7th. He's right, not right behind Kruger and Perez. We're showing John Stapp. He's in the pits there. Actually, he's exiting the pits. He came in for a pit stop. Now, that could have been for fuel, or he might have had reached his incident limit. But actually, that would have been a DQ if he had actually reached the limit. We are seeing a lot of guys have some offs here, so, and you know, we're showing. You know, you look at the bottom of your screen there. You're showing 4 retirements already. McCoy, Mathis, Martinez, and Bray, and I'm wondering if they even started the race. We did not get a chance to lock in on them at the beginning. Here's Shane Hunter. He's lost a little ground now to Jared Haslam. Almost 2.5 seconds. With Haslam, he just passed Bjorn Benches. And Benches now down to 7th position in class, 8th overall. Trying to hang on to the back of Jaron Haslam there as they drag race down this long stretch here. Haslam is pulling away though. Quite a bit of speed there. That is a whoops. That is a GT3 car, I believe, chasing a GTE machine. I'm sorry, I had it backwards. Benches, he's in the GTE car. Haslam is in the GT3 machine, running that Mercedes. Ride along here with Lincoln Russell. He's currently third in class, and he's your top 10 overall in the field. Shane Hunter's way ahead of him, but Aiden Meek is only 4 seconds behind. We're now 16 minutes into this 40-minute event. Not too far away from the halfway point already, and we've only completed 5 laps, folks. That gives you an idea of just how large this circuit is, this 24-hour layout here at Le Mans. Oh no, we got a report that Johansson Gates crashed. Let's see what happened here. Might have just been a spin. These are one of those S's, and yeah, there he's going around. And oh, and did he make just a little bit of a tap into the wall? Not too much. Guess he got it going here. He's able to get it fired up and get going. We'll take it back live here and see where he's slotted in there. He's in 9th position in class and 16th overall. And that's okay. Martinez, he did retire, and there's Bjorn Benches. He's I believe he's exiting the pits. There may be some scheduled pit stops here to get fuel. I have a report that Kent Kruger might have had an off. Let's roll back and see what happened here. There's Kruger, and you know, everybody that's had an off is going, you know, when they go through any one of those series of S's, those are giving folks a little trouble today. I don't know if it's because of the air temperature. It just may be just a little too cool out there for those tires to really get up to a good operating temperature. Take it back live here. Kruger's showing in 6th position in class, 12th overall. Meanwhile, up the front, Corey Mitchell continues to lead. Now up to 8 seconds over Eric Elkins. And just pulling away ever so slightly. Now Darian Roy, he's in danger of going a lap down here. He's only 1.2. Actually, he's a minute 25 ahead of Mitchell. So, and it's showing here he's the last car running. Matter of fact, he may already be a lap down. Let's look at the gap here. And though they're all on the lead lap, Roy is like 2 minutes 30 seconds behind Mitchell. I mean, you look at the lower right-hand screen, that's your relative box, and showing where he's at in relations to Mitchell on track. You know, right now he's a minute 25 ahead of Mitchell now, a minute 24. And so we're at we're about 30 seconds away from the halfway mark in this race. So he very well probably could get caught by Mitchell before the race is over. There's Tommy Regan. Elkins has opened up a bit of a gap on him now, over 5 seconds, but he's well ahead of Edwin Martinez. In a very comfortable position there in P3, both class and overall. And Troy Banks is coming into the pits. And I'm guessing this is just a scheduled fuel stop, perhaps. Boy, if ever a pit stop, pit lane speed limit seemed slow, it's definitely at a track like this. If Mitchell were far enough ahead, he could easily get into the pits and get back out and not be challenged. And behind Banks, there's Dustin Burkhalter. He's coming in as well for service. Wonder if he's going to try to get some work done. I don't know if they looks like they have fast repairs. There's Banks. He's on the way. Burkhalter came in for his fast repair, so now he's got a clean nose on that car and getting his fuel. That will be interesting to see what kind of lap times he puts down now. Well, with that good clean arrow now on the front of the machine. Burkhalter currently 7th overall, 5th in class. There's Lincoln Russell. He's exiting the pits. He's third in class. He's top. He's your 10th place runner overall. We have a few more cars pitting here. There's Kent Kruger. He's in the pits. And behind him is Aiden Meek. And then we have Christopher Perez also in the pits. Several folks pitting here. There's John Stapp coming in. Seems like more of the field was planning on stopping around this point. Stopped a little bit later. I don't believe the leader, Mitchell, Elkins, Regan, and Martinez, I don't believe they've stopped at all yet. In fact, they haven't. The top 6 have not pitted at all. There's Martinez. He's underway again. Most of the drivers so far, there's Perez. He's exiting the pits. Currently running 7th in class, 15th overall. Now, most of these guys so far, everybody has pitted on lap 5 except for Bjorn Benches. He pitted sooner. He was on lap 4. So that's going to be interesting. And we're at 23 minutes in, a little ways past the halfway mark. So I guess the question will be, does he have fuel mileage to get there from here, or are they going to have to make any more stops? Of course, Corey Mitchell. Now, I was about to say, is he coming into the pits? Yes, he is. Hustling into the pit road, get down to that pit road speed limit. Tommy Reagan, he's 2 minutes behind. That time should come down rather quickly since Mitchell is going at pit road speed limit here. And as we say that, Reagan, he's also coming into the pits, followed by Eric Elkins. So here are the 4 of your leaders here. Mitchell, Reagan, Elkins, and Martinez also coming in. And Haslam, Darren Haslam, he was about 2 minutes back, I believe. Mitchell, he's down and away. That was a quick stop. And Reagan, he's exiting the pits, followed by Eric Elkins. There's Martinez. He's in the pits. Jaron Haslam was the, I want to say he was 4th maybe. before and the other cars had stopped. Or I think he was running fifth at the time. He's still showing fifth. Just changed to sixth though. He's making his way out. Shane Hunter behind him. Darian Roy, he's in the pits. I don't know if he just stopped or did he have a problem and he's still there or not, but he's still stationary at the moment. Okay, here's Dustin Burkhalter with that clean nose now in the car. And I tell you, he is a long ways to go. We're 25 minutes into this event, and he's 13 seconds behind Shane Hunter. And that'd be a pretty tall order to catch Hunter. Now, Hunter, he stopped on lap 6, and Burkhalter stopped on lap 5. So depending on the fuel mileage that they get, I don't know. You know, if they have to stop again, Burkhalter might have managed to short pit him and may be able to leapfrog, possibly. We're going to have about 14 minutes to find out. It's Kent Kruger. Oh, and he manages to hang on to it. Currently running 5th in class, 12th position overall. He's got a pretty healthy gap both to the car in front and behind, so he's comfortably in the top 5 in his class. It's Johansson Gates. He's 8th in class. Darian Roy, of course, Darian Roy is still in the pits, and Hanson Gates is catching him rather quickly here. Now I don't know if now Gates is he going to pit? He pitted on lap 5, so yeah, he's not going into the pits at all, and he's really you can see the gap now closing. Now he's going down the you call it the start finish line there, and he just about to pass Perez there. I'm sorry, he already passed Roy. Oh no! And oh man, that's the first real crash that we saw. Let's see what happened here. We'll slow it down. He got on those rumble strips. I mean, he's completely all fours on those rumble strips, carrying a lot of speed into that right-hand turn. Looks like they got the right sides on the other side of the track, and you know that sometimes those rumble strips can be a little slick, and it was okay on the left side, but not the right side, and the car just went right straight into the grass and straight into the wall. Tough break for Hanson Gates, and let's take it back live here. And he may have, let's go to another driver there. He may have retired the car. And it's showing Hanson Gates he's still out there running. And that's Edwin Martinez having some problems. Let's take it back live. Oh man, I shouldn't have done that. Somebody was right behind him spinning. Let's see. That's Bjorn Benches. Wow. And Haslam, Hunter just went by 2-3 cars. And there's not much you can do, though, just to have to wait for the guys to go past. Seems like these S's are where the guys are really having the problems with the car, getting the tires to hook up through these turns. Those quick left and rights. It looked like Perez is back on track now. Actually, was that Perez or was that Garcia that was in the pits? Let's see here. Yeah, Perez, he stopped on lap 5. Garcia actually stopped on lap 5 as well. Just about everybody except for like 5 or 6 guys in the top 10 did stop on lap 6. And there's Garcia. He's had another off here. Trying to figure out which way, waiting for some cars to go by there. Cars, sometimes they come around those S's. It may be a little bit of a blind corner. You just can't whip out there and go. You have to make sure that the way is clear. Garcia currently 8th in class, 15th overall. There we go, Shane Hunter. He's putting the pressure on Bjorn Benches here. Bench is able to maintain a half-second gap to Hunter. And up ahead of them is Jaron Haslam. He's trying to hold on. He's actually first in the GT3 class, the 6th place overall. I believe he's been there at the lead of his class pretty much the whole race. Now Haslam, he went a little further. He's one of the guys that stopped on lap 6 as well. That'll be interesting because, Bjorn Benches, he's the only driver that stopped on lap 4. And so he was the earliest driver to come in. Not sure if he just came in for fuel or had to get some work done on the car or not, but that was definitely an early stop for Bjorn Benches. Coming close to that wall as they exit that turn there. Bench is trying to close in now, but now he had got just over a second. Now he's under a second once again. And here's one of the sections that was tricky for some folks, and they're getting through there pretty good. Bench just caught a little bit of curb there that time, but he really closed up on Haslam. Look at this. But they're getting ready to come down to another turn here. Or that's the sweeping right-hander there. I believe that's where we saw, I believe it was the Hanson Gates? It was somebody we saw go there. These real fast changes in direction, back left and right here. If you don't hit those marks just right, yeah, you will be taking a trip into the wall there. Bench is very smooth through there, very quick through there. He's already almost 2 seconds ahead of Jaron Haslam. There's Dustin Burkhalter. He's in. He wasn't in not long ago, but he's in there again. Now, maybe this is sort of a, relatively speaking, it may be a short pit situation where you just topping off just to have enough fuel to make it to the end. We're at 34 minutes now, only less than 6 minutes to go in this event. There's your leader, Corey Mitchell, now up to 12 seconds ahead of Tommy Reagan. I believe it was Eric Elkins was behind him for a good little portion. And now Reagan's in P2 here. In fact, Elkins over 7 seconds behind. So all of your top 4 did stop on lap 6. Troy Banks, he's running 5th overall and in class. He stopped on lap 5. He's trying to put a nice draft here on Edwin Martinez. Well, that's a tricky little section there. You can see some of the tire tracks where folks have got into the dirt there a little bit. You got to get that momentum, you know, get that car wound up as quickly as possible for these long straights. And if you're tardy just a little bit, you're just not going to have the momentum that you're going to need to take advantage of any possible draft, or you may not be able to even hold on to a draft if you're a little slow on the acceleration out of those turns. Looks like Martinez might have ran just a tad bit wide, not much. Here's another series of S's. Let's watch them go through here. That's going to be a tricky series. It's like a snake back and forth winding through here. Let's see if they all hang on here. Right and then left and then right again. And then a little tricky little left right before approaching the start-finish line. Right up here. Let's look at their lap time history here. Looking at the last 5 laps. They've kind of, you know, well, they've been trading faster laps. You know, Bench was faster on lap 6, slower on lap 7, faster on 8 and 9 actually. And that's he's behind Troy Banks there actually. Now, if we would compare Banks and Martinez, let's see how that stacks up. And Martinez has been managing to hold him off. You can see he was quicker in 3 of those 5 laps there shown. Banks quicker on the last one. Now at 37 minutes in this 40-minute event. Let's check back with your leader, Mitchell. Is he further ahead? Yes, he is. 17 seconds ahead of Tommy Reagan. Reagan motoring along, and he's fairly comfortable ahead of Elkins. A little over 3.5 seconds there. Elkins, he's if he has the lap car of Garcia behind him, so he's not under any real pressure there. Martinez, that's the battle we had been watching there. Troy Banks trying to get that 4th place position. Oh, and Banks ran a little wide there. That gave Martinez the gap he needs. We're less than 2 minutes from the end of this race. That opened up almost a 2.5 second gap now. That's going to be hard to overcome. He probably doesn't even have any kind of draft now on Martinez. It'll be interesting to see if Banks can catch him and do so while dealing with that. Who is that? That's Garcia there. He looked like he was probably just getting out of the way. Huge gap now. Almost 2 3/4 seconds. Martinez continuing to hold on to that 4th place position, but nowhere close to enough to Eric Elkins, so a podium probably won't be an opportunity for that today. There's Shane Hunter. He continues to ride comfortably in the 1st position. Now he's actually ahead of Jaron Haslam. Don't know when he accomplished that. I don't know if it was when they pitted. They both pitted on the same lap, so he must have passed him on the track at some point, unless Haslam had a spin somewhere. I don't see any reports of Haslam going off anywhere. Here's Bjorn Benches. Now he's right behind Darian Roy there. That is not a battle for position. Roy is. I don't believe Roy is on the same lap. And as right now, Roy, he is the only car showing one lap down. That's actually still running. Hanson Gates actually looks like he retired the car, so that's 5 retirements. Hanson Gates, Mathis, McCoy, Martinez, and Bray. Let's look a little further back in the field. There's Kent Kruger riding along. He's in 5th place in the class, running 12th overall. And we're just running, we're in the final lap here. Mitchell, he's coming around. He's on the back side of the course here. So this will be the final lap of the race. Just about 15 seconds ahead of Tommy Reagan. Coming down to not exactly a hairpin, but it's seems more like almost a 45-degree turn there. Corey Mitchell motoring along to another victory tonight. And those first place points will solidify his standings in his division. He's got a little ways to go. We're going to jump back here 4th and 5th as Martinez. Now Banks, he's even further back now, almost 4 seconds, and not too much of a chance really to catch Martinez. In fact, I think Banks himself is under pressure. Well, not quite, because Benches is 11 seconds behind. And Corey Mitchell, we're still waiting for him to get to the start-finish line. He's going through that tricky S's here. And once he gets through all of this, he will be approaching the start-finish line. And the system will not generate the finishing order until we can get the majority of the cars across the start-finish line. So this may take a moment. But as of this moment, your winner, the number 12, Corey Mitchell. Mitchell making it an easy day here at Le Mans. Crossing the finish line about 15 seconds clear of second place Reagan and Elkins, who both have now just crossed the line, and there they are. Okay. And somebody decided that we're just going to back on in there. I guess technically he's not getting can't get DQ'd for that. You're still heading in the right direction even though you're going backwards. Tommy Reagan, folks, having fun. That's good that he didn't back it into anybody though. Let's not hit the wall though. Okay, here are the results for the GT3 division. First place, Shane Hunter. Second, Lincoln Russell. Jaron Haslam is third. Kent Kruger fourth. Christopher Perez fifth. John Stappen sixth place. Seventh, Aiden Meek. Andres Garcia eighth. Joe Hansen Gates ninth. And Mark Bray 10th position. In the GTE division, your winner, Corey Mitchell. Second place, Tommy Reagan. Eric Elkins third. Edwin Martinez fourth. In fifth place, Troy Banks. Bjorn Bench is sixth. In seventh position, Dustin Burkhalter. Darian Roy eighth. Randy Mathis ninth. Steven Martinez in 10th position. And Michael McCoy 11th. For all of us here at Rice Motorsports TV, we want to thank you for joining us and wish you a pleasant evening.